The restaurant buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses. But in one quiet corner, Alara Mitchell sat nervously twisting the strap of her worn purse. She had never been on a blind date before, and tonight wasn't exactly by choice. Her co-workers, girls who giggled behind her back and called her Plain Jane, had set it up. They'd told her it was time she got out there and met someone decent. What they didn't tell her was that it was all a cruel joke. Alara wasn't glamorous. At 29, she lived modestly, worked long hours as a librarian, and spent most evenings caring for her younger brother, who had special needs. She didn't have time for makeup tutorials or designer dresses. Tonight, she wore her one good outfit, a simple navy dress and shoes that had seen better days. As she sat waiting, she felt the stares. A group of her co-workers sat at another table trying, and failing, to hide their laughter. They whispered behind menus, pointing at her as if she were a sideshow. Her heart sank. Minutes passed, then an hour. The man she was supposed to meet never came. It wasn't until her phone buzzed with a message, "Hope you're enjoying your date, winky face," that she realized the truth. It was a setup, a joke at her expense. Alara blinked back tears, trying not to let them see her cry. She reached for the bill for her untouched water, ready to escape, when the restaurant doors opened. And that's when Adrian Kane walked in. Adrian was the kind of man who turned heads the moment he entered a room, tall, broad-shouldered, with an aura of quiet authority. But it wasn't just his presence that commanded attention. He was the CEO of Kane Industries, a man whose name was often splashed across financial headlines. And tonight, he wasn't here for business. He was here for his son. 8-year-old Elliot Kane, with bright eyes and a shy smile, tugged at his father's sleeve. "Dad, can we sit near the window?" Adrian nodded, guiding him toward a table, the one right next to Alara. As Adrian sat down, his gaze drifted to her. He saw her trembling hands, the way her eyes flickered between the mocking co-workers and the exit door. He didn't know her story, but he knew the look of someone who had been humiliated, and something inside him shifted. When the waiter came, Adrian leaned slightly toward Alara's table. "Excuse me," he said, his voice calm but commanding. "Are you waiting for someone?" Alara flushed. I was, but they're not coming." Adrian studied her for a moment. Then, without hesitation, he said, "Then allow me. May my son and I join you." Gasps rippled across the room. Her co-workers froze, their laughter silenced. The CEO, the single dad everyone admired from a distance, was asking to sit with the woman they had mocked. Alara hesitated, her heart racing. But when she saw Elliot's curious smile, something in her softened. "Of course," she whispered. And just like that, the joke wasn't funny anymore. Dinner unfolded in a way Alara never imagined. Adrian wasn't just polite, he was genuinely interested. He asked about her work, her passions, her life. And every time she tried to downplay herself, he listened as if her words were the most important thing in the room. Elliot, shy at first, warmed up to her quickly. He laughed at her gentle jokes and even insisted on showing her the doodles he kept in his notebook. For the first time in months, Alara felt seen. Not as a joke, not as a burden, but as herself. Across the restaurant, her co-workers shifted uncomfortably, their smug expressions replaced with disbelief. The man they admired was spending his evening with the very woman they had ridiculed. And then it happened. Halfway through dessert, Alara excused herself to the restroom. That's when she overheard them. Her co-workers huddled near the bar, whispering cruel words. "She actually thinks he's interested. What a loser. He probably pities her. Can't wait to tell everyone about this." Alara's chest tightened. She wanted to disappear, to leave before Adrian or Elliot saw her humiliation again. But when she returned to the table, her eyes downcast, Adrian noticed. "What happened?" he asked quietly. She shook her head. "Nothing. I should go. Thank you for tonight. It was kind, but I don't belong here." Adrian's brow furrowed. Then he glanced toward the group of women, their mocking smirks giving them away. In that instant, his decision was made. He stood, The entire restaurant seemed to pause as the CEO of Kane Industries rose to his full height. He reached into his jacket, pulled out a small velvet box, and turned to Alara. "Alara Mitchell," he said, his voice strong enough for every corner of the room to hear. "From the moment I walked in tonight, I knew you were someone extraordinary. Not because of what you wear, not because of status or wealth, but because of the quiet strength you carry. The world may try to laugh at you, but I see you, and I won't let them diminish your worth." Gasps echoed. Alara's co-workers went pale. Adrian dropped to one knee. Elliot's eyes sparkled with joy as he whispered, "Dad, are you really?" "Yes, son," Adrian said softly, before locking eyes with Alara again. "Marry me, not tomorrow, not someday, but now, because you deserve a love that silences every cruel voice around you." Alara's hands flew to her mouth. Her heart thundered. "Adrian, this is..." He reached for her trembling fingers. "You don't have to answer tonight. But know this, what others meant as a joke has only led me to the woman I didn't know I was searching for." Silence filled the restaurant. Then, slowly, Alara nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, Adrian." The room erupted in stunned applause. Elliot leapt up, wrapping his arms around her. And at the other table, the cruel laughter of her co-workers died forever. What began as a cruel setup ended as the start of a love story. One built on kindness, respect, and a single dad's courage to see someone for who they truly were.